cousin Sarah and I were both given to the dragon court. I went to the firstborn, Aldrich. She went to the second son, Dorian. A year later, Sarah bore a white dragon, while I came out, 9, ugly, malformed, nothing resembling a dragon. The Dragon King cared deeply about appearances. He named Dorian his heir on the spot. Aldrich, in his fury, handed all 9 of my children to the Phoenix Court as blood catalysts, me along with them.
If I marry Sarah, the throne will be mine.
I couldn't survive the shame. I walked into the sacred flame and let it take me. He didn't know. Sarah was hybrid. I was pure. My children had been ugly because they took after him. When I opened my eyes, I was back on selection day.
Aldrich, Dorian, the Fox clan has sent 2. Each of you choose.
I understood immediately. I had been reborn. This life, I could not let Aldrich choose me. But as I stood there scheming, Aldrich walked past me with a look of distaste and pulled Sarah forward instead. I understood immediately. Aldrich had been reborn too. I reached for Sarah's hand, shook my head at her. The Dragon King wasn't a tyrant of these things. If she refused, she could go home. Sarah yanked her hand away.
Laia,
Satisfaction dripped from her voice.
don't tell me you're jealous that Aldrich chose me.
The Dragon Court passed its throne the same way most courts did. Bloodline first, then birth order. Aldrich and Dorian were both sons of the Dragon Queen. Aldrich had precedence. Sarah was blinded by the crown she thought she could see. I cursed her silently for a fool, then let her go. If Aldrich took Sarah, that left me with Dorian, except Dorian refused on the spot.
Father, I'm not ready for a consort.
I blinked, touched my face. I really wasn't that bad. Fine, go home. Find a fox-blooded man who actually deserved me. I was pleasantly imagining exactly that when a figure stepped out from the back of the hall. He wore a mask. 2 short horns curled from his brow.
Brother, did you forget I haven't taken a consort either?
Brother? Was this Kaelin, the Dragon King's youngest sibling? Rumor had it the Dragon King doted on him, had even once considered naming him heir, but Kaelin was wild, unpredictable, refused to take consort or sire children. The idea was shelved. He hadn't appeared in my first life at all. Kaelin strolled toward me, easy and unhurried, his dark eyes fixed on me.
Brother, she's beautiful. You let your sons choose first and didn't think of me? Hardly fair.
The Dragon King called him an insufferable wretch and waved his hand. I was given to Kaelin. Aldrich, still holding Sarah's arm, couldn't resist.
Uncle, don't let her face fool you.
Kaelin's fingers locked around my wrist. His dark eyes sharpened instantly.
Who I choose is not your business.
Kaelin brought me to his quarters, no intention of removing the mask, not even that night, alone together. What surprised me more, he had no intention of sharing the bed. He placed a folded blanket down the center of the stone bed, divided it precisely in 2.
You sleep on the inside. I'll take the outside.
I sat there clutching my blanket, genuinely confused. Dragon men were known for their appetites. In my first life, Aldrich had been relentless. Illness didn't slow him. My discomfort didn't slow him. Was Kaelin perhaps unable? He seemed to read my thoughts. His expression cooled.
I married you because I pitied you. If I hadn't, do you know where you'd be right now?
Aldrich had planned to have me killed again. He wasn't going to marry me, but he wasn't going to release me either. The moment I stepped outside the Dragon Court unattached, I would have been bound and delivered to the Phoenix Lord as a gift. Aldrich carried memories from our first life. He knew the Phoenix Lord wanted me. He intended to use that. The thought of what the Phoenix Lord did to the women in his court made me cold all over. That cold fear turned quickly into hatred. In our first life, Aldrich had bled my 9 children dry. He had cornered me into the flame. Now, reborn, he still wasn't finished. How could something so brutal claim the right to rule? The thought followed me into sleep. Dawn. Kaelin pulled me up to pay morning respects to the Dragon King. I was still yawning when we arrived. Aldrich and Sarah were already there, composed, impeccable. Sarah looked radiant. Her legs were shaking slightly, marks on her neck, a great many of them. I winced. That must have been brutal. Aldrich was rough even when welcomed. For Sarah's first time, she probably needed help getting out of bed. She caught my expression and mistook it for envy. She tugged her collar and leaned close.
How was your night, Lyra? Word is, he didn't touch you at all.
I glanced pointedly at her inner thighs.
Worry about yourself, Sarah.
She drew back with a huff.
Enjoy it now. Wait until the king finishes with you.
Sure enough, the Dragon King's voice came cold and measured.
Kaelin, explain yourself.
Kaelin looked entirely unbothered.
Thought she was interesting yesterday. Changed my mind by evening.
The Dragon King hurled his crystal goblet into the courtyard.
Disgraceful.
After the morning audience, the Dragon King summoned me privately. He wanted to know what had actually happened. I told him I'd been too shy. He studied me for a long time, told me to give Kaelin an heir soon, then sent me on my way. I returned to find Kalen waiting, frost in his eyes.
What did he ask you?
I told him everything. He was quiet for a moment. Then he told me to avoid private meetings with the Dragon King going forward. If anything came up, redirect it to him. It only deepened the mystery. The dynamic between these two was as unreadable as the mask Kalen never removed. Before I could untangle any of it, news swept through the entire court. Sarah was with child. A golden light surrounded her belly. Aldrich was beside himself. He invited the whole court to witness at dawn. I was invited too, of course. Sarah opened with a performance. She dropped the dragon pearl on the floor and smiled at me sweetly.
Leia, I'm carrying Dragon Young. Could you pick that up for me?
She was barely a month along. She could bend perfectly well. This was theater. The court watched with amusement. Aldrich joined in, implying I was a pretty bird who couldn't lay eggs. I was about to respond when a sharp gust lifted the pearl, knocked it against Sarah's face, and dropped it neatly back into her hand. Kalen lowered his wrist. He looked at Sarah with no particular expression.
Did you lose the use of your hands?
Sarah burst into tears against Aldrich's chest. Aldrich, humiliated, redirected me.
Uncle! She only asked her to pick something up. Why the outburst? Lyra's pretty, I'll give her that. But she can't even carry a dragon child. You're the only one who sees anything in her.
Kalen's response was immediate.
She's beautiful, at least. The two of you are ugly and useless. That puts her ahead.
Aldrich went white, then shifted into dragon form. He looked ferocious. He fought like a beginner. Kalen played with him, barely tried. The court watched Aldrich crumble under what amounted to light sparring, and the question moved quietly through the room. Was this really the man meant to be king? Aldrich stopped before he could lose more thoroughly. He grabbed Sarah and walked out.
When my white dragon is born and takes the throne, none of you will be laughing!
Gone before anyone could point out he'd forgotten entirely about the golden light he'd summoned everyone to see. Aldrich didn't forget slights. He waited until Kalen was away and came for me. He wove mist across the back courtyard, trapping me on the hillside, called wind and rain down until I was soaked through and shaking. Only then did he appear. He looked at me, drenched, and something greedy moved across his face.
Lyra. He still hasn't touched you, hasn't he?
He came toward me. I backed up. He seized my wrist.
Your bloodline isn't quite right for a proper consort, but a secondary one? That could work.
I slapped him. He grabbed me by the throat. I couldn't breathe. Then he let go. Even now, Kalen's name keeps him from going all the way.
When he finds out the only things you can produce are malformed little monsters, let's see how long he protects you. You're a low clan princess, Lyra. When that day comes, I'll crush you like nothing.
He didn't know. The clan he despised was about to ruin him completely. I cast my glamour. Between one breath and the next, we were standing in front of the Dragon King's council chamber. Every word Aldrich had just said had fallen on the Dragon King's ears, and the ears of every allied clan lord present. The Fox clan was low-ranked, yes, but they were under Dragon Court protection. What Aldrich had said amounted to announcing, in public, that the Dragon Court held its subject clans in contempt, not something a future king could afford to say aloud. The Dragon King's crystal scepter cracked against Aldrich's knees.
You have deeply disappointed me.
Aldrich hit the ground. His shoulders trembled. The Dragon King stripped him of his privileges and confined him to quarters. The heir presumptive, favored of the court 1 hour ago, became invisible by afternoon. I had won cleanly. Kalen was furious.
Do you understand how dangerous that was? What if he had actually killed you?
He'd figured it out, of course. I had used an enchantment to lure Aldrich in deliberately. Revenge, yes, but also self-preservation. Aldrich wasn't going to leave me alone regardless. Better to move first. I hadn't consulted Kalen because he didn't know about my first life. He looked at me, soaking wet, and couldn't bring himself to say much more. He exhaled.
Don't do something like that without telling me. I'm your husband. Protecting you is my responsibility.
Something warm moved through my chest when he said it. Something I hadn't expected. Time moved quickly after that. The night Sarah went into labor, a storm rolled in. Lightning, black clouds, golden light pouring off the palace walls. The court's ritual seers declared it the sign of a golden dragon's birth. The Dragon King got out of bed and went to Sarah's chambers to wait. I wasn't going to miss this. Aldrich's bloodline wasn't pure enough for a golden dragon. If that light was real, it wasn't his. Sarah labored all night. Dragon young were large. She screamed until dawn. Then the screaming stopped. The child was not brought out. The Dragon King went by himself. What followed was a silence somehow worse than the screaming. Then came his order.
Seal it. tell no one.
Word leaked anyway. It always does. Sarah had delivered something golden. It was not a dragon. A one-clawed golden serpent. A common golden serpent could, with enough medicine and time, be coaxed into dragon form. A one-clawed one could not. Too weak. It would never transform. And across its face, a large, dark birthmark. Ugly and unmistakable. The Dragon King took one look and left without naming it. The Dragon Court hadn't seen a birth to this poor in over 1,000 years. In my first life, Sarah and Dorian produced a white dragon together. Sarah and Aldrich produced this. The bloodline failure was obvious. Aldrich's own lineage wasn't as pure as he'd always believed. The Dragon King began arranging a match for Dorian the very next morning. He also issued a command. I was to produce a dragon child within the year. The entire court now understood exactly what Aldrich had fathered. Aldrich locked himself in his rooms. Sarah's situation was no better. Aldrich blamed her for everything, threatened to cast her out with the child and start over. My father wrote asking me to help her. I went, reluctantly. Sarah was not grateful.
Don't look so pleased with yourself, Lyra. You know why Kalen wears that mask? Because he's curious under it. You'll end up just like me, producing nothing worth keeping. And even if you do manage something, it'll just be catalyst stock for the king's workings.
Catalyst stock. My blood went cold. I thought of my 9 children in my first life, their deaths, and my hand went to my stomach before I could stop it. Sarah refused to say more and threw me out. I went to Kalen, asked him directly what was going on. He deflected, said it was to protect me. My hand was still on my stomach. I was done being patient.
Kalen, stop. I'm telling you I'm pregnant.
He went very still. I held his gaze.
That night, after the spiced plum wine,
I caught a chill standing in Aldrich's reign. I had demanded wine to warm up. Kalen had relented. We'd both had more than intended, and somewhere in the middle of it, ended up on the same half of the bed.
Why won't you let me see your face?
I traced my fingers along his mask. He caught my hand and pressed his lips to my wrist. From my wrist to my arm, then to my mouth.
Dragons are creatures of desire,
he said, voice low.
I know.
I reached up and pulled him closer by the back of his neck.
Come here, Kalen. I want this.
Neither of us had expected it to matter. I took his hand.
I'm this child's mother. I have every right to know what threatens him. Let's protect him together.
Kalen looked at me for a long time. Then the mask slipped from his fingers and fell. I stared. Kalen was not ugly. He was, without question, the finest-looking man in the Dragon Court or anywhere else I had ever been, except for the scar. It ran the full length of his left cheek, deep, old, terrible. I touched it. A wound that left a mark like this had been profound. That night, he told me everything. Kalen and the Dragon King were not full brothers. Kalen had been born to the true Dragon Queen. The Dragon King was the son of a lesser consort, a concubine elevated to queen only after the true queen died in childbirth. By rights, Kalen should have inherited, but he had no mother to protect him, and the new queen had no interest in his survival. So he did the only thing that kept him alive. He destroyed his own face. There was an old rule in the Dragon Court, unwritten but absolute. The king must be unblemished. A scarred face was a sign of heaven's disfavor. It disqualified. That was why the Dragon King obsessed over the appearance of his grandchildren. That was why he had demanded I carry Kalen's child, and why he wanted that child as a ritual catalyst. Pure blood, bound to the rightful bloodline he had stolen. No wonder Kalen wore the mask. No wonder he hadn't touched me. He had been trying to make sure I never became pregnant at all. And now I am. I looked at him.
Are we giving this child up?
Kalen gripped my shoulders.
Lyra, this child chose us. I'm not letting go. Not of either of you. I'm done retreating.
Decided immediately to conceal the pregnancy with glamour until we had a plan. The physical signs I could mask, the body's reactions I could not. At the Dragon King's feast, I vomited in front of everyone. Sarah was at my side in an instant, rubbing my back, radiating delight.
Lyra, you're not pregnant, are you? What wonderful news that would be.
The Dragon King's eyes lit up before I could speak. The royal physician was summoned at a near run, his fingers on my wrist before he'd fully stopped moving. I kept my expression neutral and thought, this is over. Kalen was at the Eastern Sea, reaching out to his mother's people. I was alone. The physician looked up from my pulse with great solemnity.
My lady is not with child. A digestive concern, I believe. Nothing more.
He caught my eye. He was winking at me. I understood instantly. I arranged my expression into embarrassment.
I did eat rather a lot of roasted chicken last night. 5, I think.
The hall went silent. The Dragon King dismissed me with barely concealed irritation. On the way back, I crossed paths with a physician who had caught the king's displeasure as a side effect of his performance. He told me he was making amends.
I could not save the queen. Let this be what I owe Lord Kalen.
The true Dragon Queen had been killed by the Dragon King's household too. I couldn't let myself think about what would happen to my child if we failed. I sent a sealed letter to my mother that same day, requesting the complete glamour grimoire. As the Fox clan's legitimate princess, I had the right to inherit it. As a reckless child, I had only learned a fraction of it. Learn it fully, and I could deceive anyone. My mother sent it within days. The weeks that followed, drilling the grimoire by day, managing Sarah and Aldrich's attempts to catch me out by night. Sarah appeared at my door daily. She was certain I was pregnant. Confirmation would earn her favor with both Aldrich and the Dragon King. My glamour held. Then Sarah arrived with a small, ornate box.
Your clan's Radiance Elixir arrived. I brought it over for you.
The Radiance Elixir was a staple among Fox women. Most took several times a month. It preserved beauty and complexion. It also contained one ingredient that harmed unborn children. Every pregnant Fox woman stopped taking it immediately. Sarah knew this. I didn't reach for the box.
You've looked exhausted lately. Has the elixir stopped agreeing with you?
She tried to watch me take one on the spot. I showed her the door. My refusal, of course, looked exactly like guilt. Within the hour, she was back, with Aldrich, the Dragon King, and a clan priestess. Sarah pointed at me.
The Fox clan has a glamour craft that can conceal the truth. I believe Lyra is using it right now to hide her pregnancy.
The Dragon King's scepter tapped the floor. His eyes settled on me.
Is that so?
I burst into tears and said I had no idea what she was talking about. Sarah's patience snapped.
Stop performing! I've brought someone who can see through you.
The priestess stepped forward. I recognized her the moment she entered. Sarah had gone all the way back to the Fox clan and brought Nora, the most powerful ritual practitioner our people had. Nora raised her staff toward my face.
My lady, forgive the intrusion.
She was talented, genuinely. Her craft swept through the room in broad circles. What Sarah had apparently forgotten, the most talented practitioner in the Fox clan was my mother. Under my mother's direct instruction, I had reached the highest level of glamour craft. Nora had not. She had no chance. Nora circled me 3 times, then 3 more. Her expression shifted from confidence to confusion.
That's impossible.
Used her last resort. Sacred flame bloomed in her palm, pure foxfire, the kind that burned through all illusion. Using it costs enormous reserves. Whatever Sarah had promised her, it had been worth it to Nora. Nora stood holding the sacred flame. I quietly brought out my reflecting talisman, her expression troubled.
Your Majesty, I find nothing irregular about Lady Lyra. It's possible she has reached the highest level of glamour craft. That is beyond my ability to penetrate.
The Dragon King's gaze moved me. His frown eased into something calculating.
I underestimated Kalen.
Something in his tone made my skin tighten. Before I could respond, his hand moved. Everything went dark. I woke in a quiet wing of the palace I didn't recognize. The Dragon King sat above me, studying my stomach with calm, unhurried interest.
Awake? I have to say, you and Kalen managed to hide it longer than I expected.
I pulled my hands over my belly instinctively. No point in performing anymore.
Is this what we're calling it? Imprisonment?
He smiled the way people smile when they want you to feel stupid for asking.
Imprisonment. I'm concerned for Kalen's child, that's all. He's away. Someone should look after things. When he returns, you'll all be together again.
He knew Kalen had gone to the Eastern Sea to call in forces. I had to do something. After he left, I lay on the bed and stared at the ceiling. The chamber was sealed tight, warding circles on every surface. My glamour was useless here. Nothing living could pass in or out. Then, the next morning, 2 servants whispered outside my door and forgot how thin walls were.
Lord Aldrich is taking a new consort. Already? His last one just gave birth. And didn't she do something for the king? Doesn't matter anymore. She's been sent back to the Fox clan. Terrible, really. The child went with her, they say?
Sarah had been sent away. No. Aldrich didn't send people away. That wasn't how he operated. I reached into the lining of my robe and found the feather whistle. My father had pressed one into each of our hands the day we left home. One for me, one for Sarah, so we could always find each other. I had never expected to need it. Through the whistle, I learned the truth. Sarah had been handed to the Phoenix Lord, exactly as I had been in my first life. Her child was missing. Hearing my voice through the whistle, Sarah finally understood why I had tried to stop her from taking Aldrich's hand that day. She was frantic. She begged me to save her. Save her child! I told her I couldn't do it alone. We had to work together. She went quiet. I started thinking of other ways to reach Kaylin. Then her voice came back through the whistle. Steady this time. She would help me. She would get a message out. Something had changed. She had found her child's body the night before. The one-clawed serpent had been too low ranked for a blood catalyst, so they used it for something worse, a test subject. The body was covered in bruising, dark purple from end to end. Sarah had looked at it, and something in her simply stopped functioning the way it used to. She would get my message to Kaylin, and after that, she wanted Aldrich. We made our plan quickly. My part was simple. Wait, Kaylin came back faster than I thought he would.
Lyra, it's me.
He was suddenly there, his hand around my wrist. No time, we're leaving. Then the Dragon King materialized in the doorway like smoke given form.
Kaylin, you return and don't come to greet your brother first?
Kaylin put himself between me and the door. I reached past his arm and took his hand. I wanted him to know I wasn't standing behind him. I was standing with him. Dragon King looked at our joined hands, and something crossed his face I hadn't expected. Something that looked almost like grief.
Kaylin, why has fortune always favored you? Your father's regard, your mother's love, that face, and now a wife who would walk into ruin beside you.
His voice went flat.
I refuse to accept it.
He looked at me.
Leave him. I'll see you safely delivered, name you a lady of the court, comfort for the rest of your life. What do you say?
I almost laughed. Aldrich had been disgusting. This old man was somehow worse. I looked at the lines of his face.
Why would I leave him for someone who looks like you?
The Dragon King's vanity was his deepest wound. In truth, he wasn't ugly. No man ruled the Dragon Court on an ugly face. But next to Kaylin, he had always known the difference. My words landed exactly where I meant them to.
You've chosen the hard way!
He gave the order. Armed guards poured in from every entrance.
Take them both! Let's see how defiant they are after!
What he didn't know, the soul-binding relic from the Eastern Sea was already pressed against his spine. Before his guards could reach us, Kaylin's forces had taken every one of them. The Elder Council entered from the outer hall and knelt.
We welcome the return of our true king.
The Dragon King stood very still. Then he shouted,
Have you all lost your minds? I am king! This is treason!
These elders had served the court before the Dragon Lord's time. They had always belonged to Kaylin's cause. They had simply been afraid for too long. The Dragon Lord had made too many enemies, pushed too many allies toward resentment. When Kaylin came to them, they did not hesitate. The Dragon King was forced to his knees. He kept his chin up.
You're all blind! His face is damaged! A scarred king is no king at all! Release me or I'll have every one of you destroyed!
I looked at him for a moment. Then I reached up and removed Kaylin's mask myself. The scar was gone. His face was unmarked, clean, because Fox Clan women knew, above everything else, how to heal what had been broken. From the night Kaylin showed me the scar, I had been treating it. The mask continued after the healing for one reason only, to let the Dragon King believe nothing had changed, right up until everything had. I looked at the Dragon King. I should have mentioned, the Fox Clan's greatest gift isn't glamour. I let him work out the rest. Facing the United Elder Council, Kaylin's forces, and a husband whose disqualifying flaw no longer existed, the Dragon King did the only thing left to him. He picked up the crystal scepter and drove it into his own throat. Blood crossed the throne room floor. Aldrich collapsed. He scrambled to his knees and begged, loudly, repeatedly. Technically, his fate was mine to decide, but Sierra's price for helping me had been simple and non-negotiable. She wanted Aldrich. A deal was a deal. I glanced at him on the floor and patted Sierra's shoulder. Don't disappoint me. Don't disappoint me. Sarah looked at Aldrich with the expression of someone who had thought about this moment for a very long time. I won't. I'll make sure he can't die and can't bear to live. She meant it. She kept it. The day she took him back, she had his bloodline formally tested. The results, which the Dragon King had been falsifying for years, showed Aldrich at the lowest rank the Dragon Court recognized, barely above the one-clawed serpent he had fathered. Without Sarah's own strong bloodline, even that much wouldn't have been possible. She made the results public. Every accusation Aldrich had leveled at her inverted in a single afternoon. When Aldrich saw the numbers, something in him broke. He kept saying it. He'd been reborn. This wasn't supposed to happen. He wanted to die. He didn't get to. Sarah had him placed with the lowest-ranked clan in the territory, assigned as an alchemical thrall. He woke up to it every day. I spent my pregnancy eating well and watching events unfold from a comfortable distance. Perhaps it was contentment. Perhaps it was Kaylin. Perhaps it was simply this life being different from the last. When my time came, I delivered 9 dragons young. Every one of them carried something from my first 9 children. A feature, a quality, something I recognized. But this time those things fit. What had seemed strange before was beautiful now, each one entirely, completely themselves. Ugly or lovely, it would not have mattered. Kaylin and I had already decided we would love them exactly as they came.
The 9 dragons were named within the week. Kaylin sat on the floor with all of them crawling over him and didn't move for an hour. I watched from the doorway.
You could sit in the throne room, I told him. You are king.
I know where I am.
He caught the smallest one before she rolled off his knee. Come here. He had spent years making himself invisible, making himself small, carving the life out of his own face to survive. Now he sat in the middle of 9 loud, demanding, entirely ordinary children, and looked like a man who had forgotten what misery felt like. The physician knocked and entered. He had delivered all 9. He looked at them, then at me, then at Kaylin, and his eyes went wet.
The queen would have been glad.
Kaylin didn't answer immediately. He looked at the child in his hands for a long moment.
She would have spoiled them rotten.
The physician laughed. Some debts take a long time to settle. Some never fully close. But this felt, at least, like a beginning. Dorian arrived 3 days after the coronation. He had been at the northern border when everything collapsed. No one had told him. He walked into the throne room expecting his father and found Kaylin instead. He stopped in the doorway, looked around, looked at me.
Should I kneel? Only if you want to.
Dorian considered this. Then he sat down on the steps leading to the throne, which was neither kneeling nor standing, and looked like he had thought about this compromise ahead of time.
My father, dead. His own hand.
His expression didn't change much, which was either grief handled quietly, or the result of a father who had never given him reason to feel it deeply.
And Eldrick?
I told him.
Dorian's mouth pressed flat.
That's worse than death.
Yes. He was quiet for a while.
I refused a consort. I thought it was because I wasn't ready. I think I knew, even then, that something was wrong. That if I stayed close to all of it, I'd become part of it.
He looked at Kaylin directly.
Tell me what you need from me.
Kaylin needed from Dorian turned out to be straightforward: the northern clans. Dorian had spent 3 years on the border. He knew every clan lord by name, had eaten at their tables, and learned their grievances. The Dragon Court under the old king had taxed them past reason and taken their best fighters as conscripts. Dorian didn't need convincing. He had already been quietly keeping lists. The first clan lord arrived within a fortnight. He came expecting an audience with the new king, and got one, but Kaylin had asked me to be present, and the clan lord kept glancing at me throughout, uncertain how to read it. After, Dorian explained,
The Northern Lords had heard about the Fox Clan princess,
who had publicly insulted the Dragon King, healed the new king's scar, and delivered 9 dragonborn children in one night.
They wanted to know if the rumors were true.
The 9 children, I said. That part surprised even me.
You should let them believe you planned all of it.
I thought about it. They'll find out eventually.
Not if you look confident while telling it.
This was, I was discovering, how Dorian operated. I was beginning to understand why Kaylin trusted him.
The Phoenix Court sent an envoy. He arrived with gifts, formal regret for any past misunderstandings, and a carefully worded letter that managed to not once acknowledge that the Phoenix Lord had received Sarah as a gift and held her against her will. Kaylin read the letter twice, set it down, asked me what I thought. He wants to know how strong your position is, I said.
He's not apologizing. He's measuring.
The envoy was watching me with the careful blankness of someone paid to show nothing.
The women currently held in the Phoenix Court, all of them, released and returned within 30 days. Any clan born among them escorted home at Phoenix Court expense.
Begin there, and we can discuss what a productive relationship between our courts might look like. The envoy's pleasant expression wavered.
My lord, the Phoenix Court's internal arrangements are not traditionally subject to neighboring review.
They are now 30 days. I look forward to your lord's response.
The envoy left.
Too direct?
For him, yes. I folded the letter. He'll come around. He doesn't have a choice.
He did come around. It took 28 days, and a second envoy, and a great deal of formal phrasing that still avoided the word apology, but the women came home. Sarah was not among them. She had already left. After Aldrich was settled in his new situation, she had walked out of the Dragon Court with her hands empty and gone south. My father's letter said she had arrived at the Fox clan 3 weeks ago. She was eating, she was sleeping, she had not spoken much. My mother wrote separately, "She is here and she is not leaving. Do not worry." I read that letter several times. We had never been close, Sarah and I. She had spent most of our shared lives resenting me, and I had spent most of them defending myself from her choices. There was no clean ending available, no single moment that undid the other. But she had gotten my message to Kaylin when I needed her most. She had done it with her child newly dead and her own situation desperate. I sent her a package. Fox Clan Rejuvenation Tonic, the refined formula my mother had been working on for years, completely free of the toxic ingredient. I didn't include a letter. I didn't know what to say yet. Perhaps that was all right for now.
Elder Council had one remaining piece of business, the formal matter of the old bloodline records. The Dragon King had been falsifying lineage documents for decades, not just Aldrich's, his own too, and several allied clan lines he had wanted to elevate or suppress depending on their usefulness. Restoring the records meant some clans lost standing, others gained it. A few discovered relatives they hadn't known existed, and a few discovered the relatives they had claimed didn't. Dorian volunteered to manage the proceedings. It took months. He aged visibly. Late one evening, he appeared at my door with a very specific question.
The Fox clan,
He said.
the true ranking.
I knew what he was asking. The Fox clan had been registered as low rank by the old king's deliberate falsification. A high-ranked Fox bloodline with a full glamour inheritance was something the old king had wanted no one paying attention to. I told Dorian the actual number. He stared at it for a while.
So when Aldrich called you low clan,
He was reading a document your father wrote specifically so that people would believe it.
Dorian closed his eyes briefly.
I'm so sorry.
Correct the record. That's enough.
Record correction created a small problem. With the Fox clan properly ranked, my marriage to Kaylin looked less like a fortunate consolation and more like the most politically significant match in a generation. Several court officials, reviewing the recalculated bloodline values, quietly reordered their understanding of the last 2 years. The ones who used to pity me were suddenly eager to be my friends. I found this less irritating than funny. Kaylin found it less funny.
They ignored you for a year and a half. And now they don't. That's how courts work.
You deserve better treatment before you were useful to them.
I looked at him. He was genuinely angry on my behalf, the way he had been the day he stepped out in that selection hall and chose me before anyone could stop him. Same quality, same direction.
You didn't know my rank either, I pointed out.
When you chose me, he looked like he wanted to argue with that. Then he didn't, because it was true and he knew it.
I chose you because he was going to get you killed, and then I couldn't stop being interested in you.
I know.
I leaned into him.
I noticed.
Mother came to court for the midsummer feast. She arrived the way she always did, which was with more luggage than the occasion required, and the calm certainty that any room she entered had been waiting for her. The 9 children took one look at her and immediately tried to climb her. She let them. She had always wanted grandchildren. She had gotten 9 at once and seemed to view this as correct. Kaylin studied her for a long time without speaking. He held her gaze without fidgeting, which was more than most managed. As she finally said in our native tongue,
You healed him. He helped.
I answered in the same. She made a small sound, then switched back to common speech and asked him his opinion on a particular restorative herb formula she had been developing. He had one, a detailed one. I sat with my wine and watched my mother and my husband argue pleasantly about herbal preparation methods for the better part of an hour, and felt something unknot in my chest that I hadn't realized was still pulled tight. Before she left, she pressed something into my hand, my grandmother's glamour signet, the oldest piece in the family line.
You've earned it, she said. You earned it a while ago.
That winter, Kaylin built a small room off the eastern wing, with good light and low shelves, sized for small hands, and enough floor space for 9 active children to make a spectacular mess. He built it himself, mostly. The court architects offered. He thanked them and kept going. I came to watch one afternoon and didn't leave.
You don't have to do all of this by hand, I told him.
I want there to be something I built that they can point at. Something made on purpose, not inherited, not stolen, not survived into.
I understood. In my first life, I had walked into a flame. I had believed it was the only exit left. I had not been entirely wrong, given what that life was. But this life had given me exits I hadn't expected. A court physician with a quiet debt. A cousin who had made terrible choices and then, at the worst moment, one good one. A masked man who stepped forward in a hall when he had no reason to, and had not stepped back since. 9 children who were, every one of them, entirely themselves. I sat on the floor of the half-finished room and watched Kaylin work, and thought, this is the thing I would have missed if the flame had been the end of it. This exact afternoon, ordinary and loud, and nothing like what I once thought I was owed. I was glad, profoundly and without complication, to be here.